Whoa, hey, it's me here to sit next to a shelf of all these games and talk about games that I like. I'm gonna need a better opener from now on. Over the years, I've come to heavily associate myself and my channel with Sonic the Hedgehog. I've enjoyed and suffered through many Sonic games, sharing my thoughts and amassing a reasonably sized fan base, along with a group of small, die-hard fans that are probably out to get me. But then I realized that I've never fully played through the original Sonic games. I've been wanting to revisit a lot of the 3D Sonic games I've played over the years, but I figured I'd start with the 2D ones to get a good baseline. You know, it's 2019, gotta broaden my horizons, you know, find some new viewers, except maybe people who really like Sonic 1. Cause I didn't like it that much, don't tell anybody. Also, I don't know why I bought these, cause I don't even own a Genesis. Back on the shelf they go. I'm playing them digitally. Sonic the Hedgehog, also referred to as Sonic 1, is a platform game developed by Sonic Team, open bracket, B, closed bracket, and published by...
That's no good.
What, so there's something inherently wrong with me reading the Wikipedia article for Sonic the Hedgehog 1991 video game? In case you're not already familiar with the original Sonic games and their design influences, let me give you a super quick history lesson. Sonic 1, 2, and 3 are a series of 2D platformers released on the Sega Genesis in the early 90s. They were designed to compete with Mario through the use of a stylish, cool mascot and an emphasis on high-speed platforming.
Why can't it be more like that nice boy Mario? Little brat!
But I mean, have you seen the original Mario games? That little Italian man is fucking gunning it. The developers worked tirelessly to push the Genesis to its limits and create something to challenge Nintendo's reign on the console market. Like many classic video games, the Sonic series runs on a life system, but with a few differences. While playing, you collect rings. Grab 100 of them and you gain an extra life, but if you get hit, you drop all your rings. Get hit with 0 rings and you die. When it comes to gameplay, it's pretty simple. Other than the D-pad for movement, Sonic only uses one button. Jump on things, go fast, you get the drill. So back to Sonic 1 specifically. Well, it kinda sucks. Whoa, 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 it's in the pit, it's in the pit! Criticizing 2D and 3D Sonic games? I know, right? This game was considered a masterpiece upon release, but comparing it to modern platformers and even Sonic 2 and 3, it's definitely something. Having never played the game all the way through, I never really knew what life was like outside of Green Hill Zone. With only 6 zones comprised of 3 acts each, the game itself is pretty short. A lot of older games were designed with a life system and much higher difficulty than modern games, forcing the player to memorize levels and hazards to extend overall playtime and value. After Green Hill Zone, which is still considered to be one of the most iconic video game levels of all time, Sonic 1 can be broken down into 2 descriptors: a waiting game and Anxiety the platformer. No, not Celeste. That's the platformer about anxiety. Okay, back to my point. The levels are designed in a way that requires a huge amount of trial and error. With Sonic running relatively fast and the view distance being pretty short in both directions, it's hard to see enemies and obstacles coming if you're running at full speed. Plus, everything in every level is out to get you, and you have to play incredibly carefully if you don't have them memorized. Every time I feel a little confident and decide that I want to move at more than 1 inch per hour, or heaven forbid I decide to press the jump button, the level is prepared in every possible way to make me suffer. And do I even really need to talk about underwater Sonic levels at this point? It's just slower Sonic, since there's no additional jumps or swimming mechanic, with even more added stress in the form of everyone's favorite non-panic inducing song. If you aren't in a state of constant death or fear, you're probably playing through one of the other portions of the game which are dedicated to waiting. Moving platforms are nothing new in the world of 2D platformers, but my god, it feels like Sonic 1 is just littered with them, and it interrupts the faster style of gameplay that it's supposed to be known for. While some jumps can be finessed with perfect reaction times and speed, there are so many areas where you are forced to just wait. Wait for this brick to float all the way across the lava, or wait for this instant kill pillar to rise not once, not twice, but 3 times, or jump on this platform and wait for it to carry you up. Oh, wow, thank you, Sonic the Hedgehog, for the Sega Genesis. I'm very glad that you put those spikes there. To finish off Sonic 1, I might as well mention the game's special stages. Every Sonic game has a mini game that you have to repeatedly complete to obtain the Chaos Emeralds. In Sonic 1, it's just a very strange and awkward pinball thing that I still don't really understand. I like this mini game about as much as I like Sonic 1 overall. All I want is for them to make a sequel, right? But it's like the levels are better, and you could use this move called the spin dash, and there'd be like this orange fox thing with two tails fall. Oh, that's this one. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was released on the Sega Genesis in 1992 and was received very positively by players and critics, becoming the second best-selling Genesis game right behind the original. But Yakko, I'm sure you're yelling into your computer screen. What do you think about it? Honestly, I love it. This one might be my favorite of the original three, and I don't think it's just because of the addition of Tails. Even though it only came out 1 year after the original, Sonic 2 feels so much better in so many ways. With twice as many levels and much more interesting and intuitive designs, it maintains a challenging yet entertaining level of difficulty, most of the time. Sonic 2 also adds the ability to charge up speed from a standstill with the spin dash. This move feels so ingrained into Sonic's design and gameplay that it felt bizarre playing Sonic 1 without it. The game starts out by dropping you straight into Emerald Hill Zone, which is basically just Sega copying their own homework. Okay, Green Hill Zone was real good, so let's just do it again. Just name this one, Emerald Hill Zone. While this stage looks and feels almost exactly like Green Hill Zone, I'm gonna let it slide because I think I might actually like it better than Green Hill Zone. One of my favorite parts about Sonic 2 is its expansive maze-like approach to level design. With the exception of Starlight and Scrap Brain Zone, most of the levels in Sonic 1 are pretty linear. Meanwhile, Sonic 2 has these massive branching levels with various paths and secrets, making each playthrough feel like you're playing a different game. Nearly every decision or mistake you make leads to a different section. Nail that sweet jump? Nice, you get to go up to the fun zone. Miss it like an idiot? Fall down into hell. And by hell, I mean underwater. The levels in Sonic 2 are unique and entertaining, topped off with insanely catchy and memorable music. Chemical Plant, Mystic Cave, and even Hilltops. I was trying to say Hilltop. Alright, fine, never mind. The special stages in Sonic 2 have been drastically changed from the original game. In this one, you run forward in a 3D tube thing and collect rings while trying not to get hit by bombs that, by the third or fourth Chaos Emerald, are fucking everywhere. How do I do this? Where am I going? Somebody help me. As you approach the final levels in Sonic 2, they take quite a spike in difficulty, and some of that good old Sonic 1 bullshit rears its ugly head once again. Wing Fortress Zone. Ignoring all of the lethal falls that scare me into moving slower than a fucking snail in a game about fast platforming, why would you put this specific launcher here? Why would you do this to a child? Imagine them getting Sonic 2 for their birthday, playing it over and over for hours and hours, finally making it near the end and the game just says, "Hey, fuck you, kid." And let's just say that I definitely didn't reload a save state a bunch of times trying to figure out how to beat the last boss. Guess I gotta congratulate my boy Eggman, he actually managed to build an intimidating robot for once. Looks like I'm gonna have to consult the Game Fact! And finally we arrive at Sonic 3. Although released in 1994, only 2 years after the release of Sonic 2, this game doesn't even feel like it was made for the Genesis. It shows just how much Sega was able to improve both graphical and gameplay design in just a few short years on the same console. The most obvious change in Sonic 3 is the graphical style. It substitutes Sonic's simple and cutesy sprite from Sonic 1 and 2 for a more detailed and expressive one, which feels much more like his marketed style of the rebellious alternative to Mario. There's new power-ups, the levels are even bigger than before with transitions and scene changes, each act has its own music, and it even has a water level that I don't completely despise. It might just be the music or the water slides though. You're off the hook this time, Hydro City. Hydrocity? Is it Hydro City or Hydrocity? Less than a year after the release of Sonic 3, Sonic & Knuckles was released for the Genesis. These two games were originally intended to be an all-in-one experience, but were split in two due to time constraints and cartridge memory limitations. But using the power of lock-on technology, you can literally put the two games together to make Sonic 3 & Knuckles. So are we counting Sonic 3 & Knuckles as one game for this review? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I take back what I said earlier. This is the best one. There's like double the levels because it's two games, right? And you can also just play as Knuckles. And apparently Michael Jackson made music for it too, which is strange, but also kind of cool. Eat shit, Sonic 2. Okay, I'm sorry, Sonic 2. I didn't mean it. I just got a little excited. You start out on Angel Island, which you might initially see as the third iteration of Green Hill Zone, but in the middle of Act 1, Eggman just straight up starts dropping bombs from a massive airship. It's literally depicted right on the front of the box, just Sonic and Tails posing mindlessly while Eggman fucking torches the entire island right behind him. This is one of the coolest parts about Sonic 3 and something that really differentiates it from the other two games. The levels start to evolve based on the cutscenes, and the music changes with them. The lava level turns to ice, summer turns to fall, and Angel Island is still on fire! Why has Sonic not dealt with this? All the animals are going to die! There's snowboarding, there's ice blocks, and there's even a more complex story through the use of the level transitions and cutscenes I mentioned earlier. You see, in Sonic 1, Eggman tries to steal the 6 Chaos Emeralds. That's about it. In Sonic 2, they step it up a bit. Eggman builds the Death Egg and an early version of Metal Sonic, forcing Sonic to travel to space to stop him. And in Sonic 3, Eggman tricks Knuckles into thinking that Sonic is trying to steal the emeralds, but rebuilds the Death Egg, which Sonic destroys, so it crashes into Angel Island, and the story continues in Sonic and Knuckles, where Knuckles gets electrocuted and then teams up with Sonic and they go to space. And you know what? I think I'm starting to understand where all the complicated 3D Sonic game plots come from. In terms of specific gameplay, I don't have a lot to say other than it's really good. Sonic 3 continued in delivering the mix of high speed and precision platforming that the series was known for, while making improvements in graphical and gameplay design. Knuckles plays way differently from Sonic, and his gliding and wall climbing powers offer new ways to explore each level. Levels and bosses have interesting mechanics and gimmicks, and coupled with the music and atmosphere of the levels, Sonic 3 is a joy to play. The special stages in Sonic 3 are definitely my favorite out of the original Sonic games. They may be stressful as all hell with their constantly increasing speed, but I'll take collecting spheres over playing vaporwave pinball or awkwardly spinning in circles any day. I'm glad I finally played this game all the way through, because I'm pretty sure I never even got past the first Knuckles level as a kid. Nothing like making it to the last level and having to reload my save because I went so fast that I clipped through the wall. Sonic's too fast for his own game. That's about all I have to say for a quick rundown of the original Sonic games, and as I expected, they're really enjoyable, for the most part. And with Sonic Mania existing as a faithful homage to the original series, I'm glad Sega didn't make some, like, awful looking cash grab 2D, 3D hybrid game and name it, like, Sonic 4 or something. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna be experimenting with all sorts of changes over the next few months, so things might not stay exactly the same, but I hope you enjoyed the new style. I also want to give a big shout out to Brendan Jackson, Kate Hall, Captain Hooters, and everyone else on Patreon for the support. And I also wanted to let you know that I'm coming back to Twitch for live streaming, so go check me out over there. I'm gonna be doing a big ol' stream the day this video goes up, so I'll put links just about everywhere I can. That's about it for now. I'm super excited for 2019, and I'll see you real soon. And by real soon, I mean like a week or so and not another month like last time.